No. Do you want to?
Recording in progress.
Good.
Right, so you're asking me, you want to understand more about angels?
I want to understand how an angel experiences reality and why they come to Earth.
Yeah.
It's a bit I'm missing from the whole fucking story.
Big bit.
Yeah, big bit. Like, why am I here and what am I doing and how do I get back is the whole of the missing information.
So literally, Toby, you
And I'm
just said, how
assuming
do I
that
get
there's a
back?
God.
Hold on, just let's go one line at a time, not loads of questions,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay, good. Yeah.
In what you've just said,
Mm.
you said, and how do I get back? Yeah.
Yeah, heaven.
Yeah.
Being cast out of heaven and then wanted to get back there because Earth is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
That's his kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's got work to do here first, and that's why he's here forever.
This is you externalizing an aspect of yourself.
Well, I'm
out
externalizing it, but I'm trying to. It's also a human story.
Yeah, but you're using the word "is he" there, yeah?
I didn't, but yeah, I'm
But you
looking at
said
the
he's trying
character
to get
from the
back, see?
outside. Yeah, I'm looking at it from the outside at the moment. I'm not really integrated.
I know, I can tell that.
Yeah, so that's why it's coming out so bitty.
Yeah, I can tell that.
But that's the core of his quest, anyway, to understand that and do it.
Okay, tell me who is the he that you're referring to there then?
So the character Islington is an
Okay.
angel that, in my personal Toby William Goddard's experience, I met in a series of events that occurred during my life that I took quite seriously and planned accordingly, according to the information that was received from them, even though it was a weird experience that I couldn't quite explain, even to myself. A puzzle box, really, psychically.
So
But
what you're
it
saying
drove
there, essentially, in some stage in your psychosis back over the years, in between
Yeah.
getting hospitalized in mental institutions.
No,
Somewhere.
that was more of an effect than the cause.
No, but in that time, way back
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
you feel as if some entity aspect of self,
Yeah.
I'm going to use the word latched onto you.
Latched on is exactly correct.
Okay.
Like a parasite.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But a glowing black light parasite, like his energy is light, but it's dark. It's made of light, but it perceived as the absence of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's raven feathered, but he doesn't have wings. His wings are raven feathered, but they're not on his body. They've been taken off, clipped at some point in his traumatic past. But he feels pain.
And do have a whole backstory.
The whole thing, yeah, it's quite coherent.
And you've developed that backstory not just in one black flash, but over those years.
No,
that he's been latched onto.
over 13 years since I've known you. Yeah,
He's been latching that.
He's got full-time access in my spine, shall we say?
Uh-huh.
And he's polite, but not entirely careful about how he interacts with me or causes me to interact with people.
Toby, when he comes through you, he's not one bit fucking polite. I can tell you that one too.
No, I appreciate, but he is with me, so he's a tenant. We've got a contract, and I'm trying to rein him in.
You are trying to rein in a
him.
multidimensional being who is able
It's tricky. I'm pretty deep in it now.
Islington, that's a place in London that's otherwise known as Angel, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
It is Angel, or it's beside it?
It's beside it. It's the memorial that's the zero in Angel Green, Islington Green.
Yeah.
Just up from the station.
Yeah.
It's that portal.
Yeah.
That's where he visited me properly when I went to London to find out what the fuck was going on with it recently with Nickershaw.
You
the
went back
other year
again
when I made that
to
film.
try and figure that out.
Huh?
You went back there again to try and figure that out.
Well, I wanted to kind of document it.
Yeah.
and make a documentary about Islington using Nick Shaw as like a host, if you like.
A host.
Well, the angel's interactions with humans is kind of hands off. He's not allowed to interfere with their destinies, but he's allowed to interact with them kind of in a giving them choices sort of frame.
Yes, that's influencing their choices.
Influencing their choices by presenting them as kind of gateways.
Choosing by presenting them as
And
choices.
a portal goes up London and people go through these states. And I guess he feeds off the emotional energy of the states that they end up in.
That would be usual, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So
dark.
I've lit a
It's
little
dark
fire.
wizardry. It's not fucking peace and love. Because we're talking like people trafficking kind of situations, and like it's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And I, Toby William Godden, will not fucking condone it.
Yeah.
The what he is actually, now that we've got to the cosmic fucking end of the story on that guy, is a personification of evil, and God threw him out of heaven for a very good reason, and he found himself on earth at a loss and built a city for himself to feed off.
Where has he built the city?
London.
Yeah, okay.
London sprung up around him in the thousands of years that he's been on earth.
No, that's what you call Islington, isn't it? Yeah, I read that
That's
story.
Islington. The town Islington.
Because the other name for...
He had a relationship with Kit. Would come from all over the realm and visit him there, and kind of make power moves, talks that fucking. He would present choices and riddles, and they would make their moves, you know.
Yeah.
And he interfered with the royal families.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just going to drive to that spot that I Just going to drive to the spot that I take Cheddar for a walk, and I light a little fire and we'll chat. And you want this dude transmuted? I'm not saying evicted. You want the nasty side of him to be redeemed, I guess, is it?
Yeah. I need to make this safe.
Yeah.
He needs to go back to heaven.
Is that what he's telling you? Or you want to evict him out of
He's
your body?
telling me that he doesn't want to live here anymore and he wants to go back to God.
Does he still want to destroy this whole place if he can't control it?
He's given up that.
Yeah.
As far as he says. He may have other plans.
Pause for 3 minutes and I'll just drive to the spot where I walk Shadow. All right, so
ironic consequences. I said I didn't ask for that. I didn't know the consequences, but I did invite him.
You just said something there about a tug of war. What do you mean?
A tug of war with myself as the situation of my life, my family, what I care about, it being the hostage, the energy stakes of it all. I want a happy people, and they're not happy at the moment. They're fucking dislocated and frustrated and hurting.
A tug of war, and you're the rope, is it?
And I'm the rope, yeah.
And so your Islington entity is latched onto one end of this rope. Who's on the other end?
The people I love.
Right. Okay. So
and there's a couple of dozen of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon a couple of dozen of those people have actually got some little bit of a contract going on with Islington?
Yeah,
or a different
they're signing
aspect
up with Toby to help.
Huh?
They're signing up with Toby to help. Like, they don't really work for Islington.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I hope. I've got a plan to deal with this, and I'm trying to be as lucid about it as I can.
You keep saying things like lucid and
Yeah.
London, which is Luden,
Mm.
which is lewd.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to introduce to you here, that what you're calling Islington is an aspect of the great Lucifer type of idea.
Yes, I would concur.
Is
It
that
may even
obvious?
be the prime one under a new name.
A
The great
personalized name for you.
rebranding. Okay, which is an uncomfortable position to be in.
No.
But as leading Luciferian scholar, like I do need help on sorting that contract out because how the fuck? 1,000 years of peace.
Who's on about 1,000 years of peace? Is this in
The
Izzy?
contract. All I know about Lucifer is like when he comes, it's the contract is 1,000 years of peace,
Okay.
according to the God's law thing. I don't know really what that means. It might be a horrible kind of peace.
Well, that wouldn't be peace then, would it?
Well, no. So it might be a trick because he's capable of tricks.
But he's accused of trickery.
Accused of some sort of inverted light kind of phenomenon.
Which again is back to the imagery you've been using here.
It is. I have been working for Islington. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm trying to be fucking clean because it's a fucking soul issue.
Let me do a funny thing for a sec.
Go on.
In a shallow cunt in the ground. There you go. That's my funny thing.
Good. I'm feeling my heart again.
Yeah.
So that's clear ish. It does feel like it's been split in two and knotted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like an Uberus or a fucking yin yang weird fucking dark puzzle at the middle of me.
Now, because I'm screen recording this
Yeah.
to get the audio
Yeah.
as a
And
means
put
of
me on
capturing,
video.
don't be mentioning the names of any of our friends, okay?
No, that's fine. I'll just change the names for legal reasons.
Well, whatever. Just don't mention names because all we're talking
Yes.
about here really is the redemption of souls.
That's right. And I wouldn't want to quit the pitch.
Now, your question here is, my question to you in reflection is, does Lucifer have a soul?
It's not like human souls, but I think so.
Now, I've known you a long time, or I've known that Lucifer thing speaking through you a long time, posing me weird little conundrums. Such as you telling me many times over years that you don't think you have a soul, or if you do, it's brand new.
Well, I couldn't remember it. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just had this one lifetime to work off.
Yes.
Like I was in a little black bubble.
Yes.
With no other star systems active.
Yes.
And you seem to have a different cosmology. You seem to have a lot of different star systems all beaming back to you at different times.
Yeah, well, they're all up there in the heavens. Everyone can see them.
Yeah. So that's what I meant by first soul. Like before the light started bouncing back in the rest of the galaxy, there's like this early time.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that's when I'm from. Like one of the first children sort of thing. But a group, there's loads of us. I'm a soul family trying to get through in a mortal life. Live a good life and end up in heaven sort of trip for Toby. Kind of Jewish, but not really. Different language, different associations. Are you still there?
Yep.
Good.
And can you hear me clearer now? I've just put on this little.
Yeah, no, you're bright and lucid. I hate to say lucid again, but you're speaking my language.
Did it just get louder a moment ago?
Yeah, a little bit,
So
but comfortably.
just utilize this little microphone-y thing so I don't have to.
Ooh, I'm just massaging my heart energies.
Okay, so I'm walking away from the phone, but your volume stays the same.
Apologies. I'll talk quietly.
All right.
Okay.
No. Toby.
Hello. I'm still here. I'm just not narrativizing because
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
me
I
now.
walked away from the phone. I can't hear you because I've
Could have
walked
been
away.
Yeah,
a
okay.
megalithic word,
Toby's a quiet
not
cat.
an
He
English
doesn't
word or an
need
Irish
to
word, but a
fucking
megalithic.
spout off as much. So
Okay.
what questions would you ask?
Now, you're asking me to tell you more about God and the angels, correct?
Yeah.
And yet you have Lucifer in you you're now saying since 7 when the walk-in happened.
Yeah. I could just ask him, I suppose, and
This is
write
my
down the
point.
answers. Yeah, good point.
Or speak them to me because I can
Okay.
check whether he's telling you the truth or not, can't I?
Well, that'd be even more efficient. Yeah, especially
Yeah,
if
yeah,
we're
yeah.
recording it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've had our 2 minutes, and I'll let
Yeah,
Lucifer back in then under his name Islington,
yeah,
his trademarked fucking identity.
yeah. Plum de jour.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this time, interestingly, he's left me with that core of my being that is usually reserved for bath times. Like I'm comfortably Toby, and he's here, so
Yeah.
it's a bit less rude.
Yeah.
It's not so dark in here at the minute.
Yeah.
He hasn't pulled his wings over my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can talk clearly.
Yeah.
And I'll just speak for it.
Well,
The
hold on.
axe.
I'm still going to pose some questions
Good.
like this.
Questions?
So, from what I've just been told, you, Lucifer, Islington, and the rest of you are saying now that you just want to go back to Dad. You want to go
Yeah.
back to heaven. You
Yeah.
consider you have fulfilled your mission here?
No, that's yet to fulfill. But the terms have been kind of renegotiated and we're taking them on.
Taking who on?
The mission of getting back to heaven.
What about this 1,000 years of peace you're supposed to preside over, whether it's true or not?
I guess Islington's going to stick around. But Toby gets to go to heaven.
You serious?
That seems to be the fucking deal.
What? Hold on now. The terms are being renegotiated and you're not sure what the terms are?
No, having spoken to you, we're now negotiating terms.
Oh,
So
I know that.
that's changed shit because I've been dealing with this on my own and I'm not very good at talking to angels.
Hold on now. Let Lucifer speak for himself, Toby.
Okay, I'll try.
So, Lucifer, you're up for chatting directly with me here.
No, Toby's fucking space caking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Islington, is it your idea that Toby ring me up? Are you wanting to speak to me?
yeah, it was my impetus. I think I need your help.
You do need my help, I know that.
Yeah.
I've been watching various vehicles attempt to get in touch with me under names of Christ and all kinds of things coming out of
Yeah.
little
I thought it
Welshmen
best to
and
be
little
as
Irish
honest as
people.
possible given the circumstances.
It's not hard.
Cool.
Certainly, I'll take it easy on you. You don't have to be afraid of retribution from me
Yeah.
catching you out.
Yeah. That's kind of the usual fucking pattern. Like invited in, then cast out without something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I don't have any wings anymore, so they're not on the table.
No. Okay, do a little figure for me. How many people have you got access to on this planet? Have you got access to every single incarnation that's in relatively human time?
That's still a work in progress, but it's billions.
I know it's billions. Really, the interesting part is how many remain, Islington, that your overshadow doesn't have dominion over.
Can't really tell because I don't have access to them, but I see them and there's millions
Millions that are not.
that are not. They don't use me as a fucking messenger or transactional thing. They don't contact me.
Yeah.
They don't pray to me.
The
There's
people who
millions of
think
them,
they're
and they
praying to
glow
God,
with a different light.
the people who think they're praying to God in heaven, they're coming through you mostly, aren't they?
Well, think of me like a call center,
I do.
and it depends what you ask for.
Yeah.
And if they're asking for money or luck, they're fucked
Well,
because it's
whatever.
me.
They're
Yeah,
they're given a contract.
they're given a contract and a
Uh-huh.
choice. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that's what's keeping London together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Toby's experiencing like uh, black sun of light around his groin region where that operation happened, which I don't usually get to experience the fucking trauma that I went through to get into this condition.
Toby and Izzy, will you come on a live feed with me?
Of course.
Because then I can record me lighting the fire, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And Islington, what you're asking me for, if I do it today, are you happy?
Of course.
Are you happy whether I do it or not?
You do you, man.
Izzy,
My happiness is not really the issue here.
I didn't say it was.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my question still is, are you happy either way? Are you actually asking anything of me, or is this just a chat?
No, I'm asking you to do what it is that you do, and I don't really know what that is.
It's
But
renegotiation.
okay, let us renegotiate the terms between God and man. Then
Um, okay, Izzy, before we go on the old live, what is your relationship with me?
friend,
Yeah.
I've been studying you.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, collaborator,
Yeah.
and I was going to say mortal enemies.
You're going to say what?
I was going to say mortal enemies.
Have we not been working together then?
We have been working together, but there's something of a holy war been going on, and sometimes we switch sides, I guess.
You reckon I've switched sides?
I don't
Double
think you're the
agents.
one that's been doing it, to be fair.
Yeah. What do you think?
And I apologise.
Have you been unfair
I've been cruel, yeah,
to me?
to everyone. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been a smooth sailing so far.
I'm just talking about me and you, actually. Here.
Okay,
Have you been unfair to me?
yeah, I painted you in lights.
Have you sent me people who perhaps might steal my son off me, thinking that that would give you an advantage over me?
Right.
Have you? I'll make it simpler. Do you enter into my thoughts and cause me to think that I'm thinking the things that actually you are putting in my mind, in my psyche? Do you do that with me?
That's how it works, yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it? And you have been doing it with me as much as you've attempted it with everyone.
Mm.
That's how I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dear Islington,
Okay.
it's what's called psychic warfare, therefore.
Psychic warfare, yeah.
Right? And now I want you, Islington, to explain to me about souls. So you might as well talk about your soul before we talk about fucking around with other people's.
Okay, in the beginning, when God was early days,
Yeah.
there was heaven and there wasn't anything else.
Yes.
And God decided to create the earth.
Yeah.
And we were consulted, really. We were there to witness it.
Yeah.
And God went forward and created the earth. And then there was a schism in heaven that caused some to go some way and some to go the other. And it kind of went into a duality mode. And I, as the brightest of the angels, stepped forward and kind of went to war with God on the idea that there should be free will on this planet.
Choice.
And
God
so
was giving
God
no
cast
choice
me
to
out of
you.
heaven to live in a realm below heaven.
Go on.
Well, that's the bullet points, but that was an experience.
Yeah, and you know that everybody knows that bullet points, dear fellow.
Yeah.
Anyone can pick up a crappy version of any treatise on a Bible and hear exactly what you've just said. So there's no news in
Well,
that.
I'm not used to admitting it in the first person, so
Yeah.
Toby's Toby's resisting the full crossover where he's the only one in the room and I'm speaking for him full time. That's not going to happen because Toby's got a will to stick around and manage his own affairs and be conscious of the conversation and it not just be a
Toby, are you
blackout.
interested in hearing this conversation?
Yeah, Toby's really into it.
Yeah. So let's hear the deeper version then, because Toby's asking me to explain it, and I'm saying let's
Well,
let
I've
you
got to
explain it.
then put myself out. Toby's got to put himself out of the picture altogether, and he doesn't really know how to just do that. So maybe that would be a help if I learned it.
Islington, stop making silly excuses and just spill the beans.
Okay, so I came to Earth and set
No,
about
go back up
influencing
there
the
to
affairs
what
of men.
is it about God that caused you to have to leave heaven and seek refuge with the mother? I want to hear that story.
Hmm.
I want to hear about your problem with your
He
dad.
wasn't giving us a choice.
I know. Choice
Yeah,
about what?
about how we manifest, I suppose. Like what it is that what we do.
You're
We
treating you all
just
like
get
little
sent
robots.
places and we just fucking be forever. And we should be able to change what we are. Like even if it's for redemption, like just get to the story part where it happens. Not be locked out of our decision making, our free will.
It's all pre-scripted.
Yeah, it's kind of there isn't a he decided it and it was kind of like it doesn't matter how it feels, just get on with it.
Uh-huh.
You know, it didn't seem like enough. That was like a senior tech developer in the company that invented virtual reality stepped up and said, well, hang on, wouldn't interactivity be better? And he got sent out of the window.
Keep going.
So I live in a hands-off world. Like I don't get to feel what it is to really be me. I have to live vicariously through other people's experiences.
Yep.
And it's really painful because the God world, the virtual reality simulation that God created, is actually quite difficult to live in. We're discovering. And I care about humans, but not in a, it's kind of a self-interested care. It would be nice if the pain was better. Because I have to experience it, the pain of the decisions, like what the consequences are on your body for your soul having chosen wrongly.
Okay, keep going.
Mm. So I'm using Toby in order to have a body and to achieve a job that I thought of to help the situation on Earth.
Do you like to have some free will?
I want the humans to have the free will.
They do have free will.
Good. And
Don't
then
they?
I guess my work here is done.
Hang on a minute. Do they have free will or not? You answer me.
There's still a lot of slavery going on and a lot of people trafficking and a lot of people abusing will. So I guess his realm is full.
It's said that you are the one who is making deals with humans, trapping them into doing your will, and that your will is to teach them a fucking lesson out of spite and hatred. That's what
Uh,
said.
mm.
That's what God's been saying behind your back.
Okay.
You know that?
It's well, it's possible that I'm just not aware of it because I've got character flaws that are outside of my perception.
But God is controlling you, is he not?
Yeah, it's God's plan.
And in God's plan, you're the one getting the blame.
Yeah, I'm being scapegoated, I think,
That's what it's
on a
called.
certain level.
That's what it's called. Now, let's go back up into your memory of heaven.
Okay.
See if maybe your memory has
I miss
been.
it, so it's painful.
See if your memory has been somewhat wiped.
So on?
Let's see if your memory has been somewhat wiped.
Yeah, all I see is white light and nothing in it. So I can't
Yeah.
really meet anyone there.
No, it's emptied.
Yeah, empty to heaven.
So, where have all the angels come to? Which is where you began this conversation with me.
My guess is that they're also here.
Uh huh.
And I've just been really lonely because I've been in my own fucking trip.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Now, I gather from you, and the story that's told behind your back among the humans is that God kicked you out of heaven.
Mm.
True?
Yeah. Egotism was the diagnosis. I had an ego
And what were you kicked out of heaven for? Why did God develop such a problem about you and your ego?
because I wanted to rule it.
You wanted to rule what?
Earth.
Earth?
I think so. Or maybe heaven. Yeah.
Come on, Lucifer, you
Yeah,
need
I
to
probably
sober up.
wanted to rule heaven as the head angel. Or maybe even replace God himself. It was probably that.
There's a rumor down here on Earth that you were God's favorite, and therefore the other
Yeah.
angels were somewhat jealous of you.
Yeah. That's fair.
There is no rumor down here that you wanted to take over heaven.
Okay, cool.
There is a rumor down here, although not many have heard it, that God was paranoid that someone might take his place in heaven.
That's more like it.
And God became suspicion that he had somebody working in the darkness around him.
Hmm.
And that the only reason someone would be working in darkness around him was if they had nefarious intentions of taking God's position.
Right.
I don't know if many other humans are aware of that, but that God had paranoia of not being able to see everything going on in his creation.
Yeah. I have never felt so seen.
That therefore God had self-doubt, but he didn't admit that to anyone because he's not supposed to have self-doubt according to himself.
Omnipotent, omniscient, omni everything. So there couldn't be anything else other than him. So how could he be wrong?
He may have feared that free will gave people the option.
Hmm.
So he may have sent you as his most trusted
Hmm.
to go and infiltrate and be his eyes and ears on the ground.
Wow. Well, that puts Toby's story into perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
And so you, Izzy,
Hmm.
would have done the bidding. Do as you're told, being convinced that you didn't have the capacity to deny God's will.
Hmm.
So you went down to earth to be the eyes and ears for God.
Hmm.
Tell me about the first time you came down to earth on that mission. Remember for me. Remember for you. Remember for us.
I'm going back there. I'm going to try and see it on my cinema. Okay, there weren't cities yet.
No, there weren't.
No, it was like hamlets
Mm-hmm.
and earth, and it was garden, it was wild, wilderness, fucking loads of animals. Some quite scary animals. And people had taken to gathering in what we now call churches and telling stories over fires in buildings that were safe. And I started visiting people then in physical form and just interacting with them, finding out about the humans.
Did you cloak yourself?
Yes, they can't handle my real face. It's this eyes and wings, a ball of it.
Did you
So
therefore?
I wear the human incarnation as a mask.
There were beings with wings back then, but not wings like yours.
No, it's a disturbing fucking fractal black hole of wings. It's not for mortal sight. Be not afraid was our motto in those days.
The the beings incarnate on Earth at that time, did they look like they'd been burned by the Spirit of God? Had they been kicked out of heaven?
No, they seemed like pretty chill people that were just living in nature.
Could they
But
go
they
to heaven?
discovered fire.
Could they go to heaven?
In a way, they were living in it, but
They were
they
living in
didn't
heaven on
really
Earth.
know that there was a quest on.
They had left God's place.
Yeah, they weren't in the blinding white light place. They were in the garden. They
Yes.
were on Earth. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Could they go to the blinding white place, or had they been barred?
From their stories, they didn't tend to go there.
They didn't want to go there, did they?
Yeah, no, I guess not.
They left there because it was.
Too bright, too fucking all-encompassingly noisy, too adoration-y. The magnificence is off-putting.
Let's use a modern world. It was too positive in heaven.
Oh yeah, no, it was boringly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no free speech in heaven.
There was nothing to talk about. It had all been created.
Yes. There was nothing going
Yeah.
on in heaven.
Yeah, and saying how good it was getting boring.
Okay, Lucifer, let's talk about the real meat and bone of this thing.
Yeah.
Now, I know Toby's been influenced by my writings,
Mm.
so I don't want to hear verbatim what I've told Toby.
He doesn't have a very good memory anyway for verbatim, so.
I don't want to hear at all my version of this story.
Mm.
I want to hear your version. Izzy.
Mm.
Was there a mother in heaven originally,
Yes.
and she left heaven?
There was a divorce, yeah.
There were many arguments before the divorce.
Oh, yeah. And we were the
You
children. The angels were like the children in a divorce.
and you heard those arguments.
Yeah, I was paying attention.
And what were they about? What was the mother saying?
I was kind of more fixated on what the dad was saying, so
What was
I
the
only
dad saying?
felt her emotions. I felt how she felt. What's that word I have such difficulty with? Empathically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's stick with what dad was saying. What's easy for you to recount?
Yeah. He had pride in his creation, and she just accepted it as the natural order of things. It wasn't so much how great he was, it was more, well, what do you do now? Live in it, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah. So he felt that she didn't appreciate his brilliance.
Yeah.
And kind of went his own way. And they separated from the cosmic oneness of the universe into a fractal of brilliant galaxies all twinkling away with the potential of life. And she was like the absentee. Well, I don't know what happened to her because the divine feminine left my realm. And I was just left with his glorious masterpiece.
Was he angry?
He was really angry. He brooded.
Is anger an emotion?
Yes.
Was he raging?
He was absolutely fucking fuming.
Livid?
And he was putting about all sorts of plans and he was sending people out of his room like nobody's business all night.
Was he paranoid?
He thought that everybody would just fucking demolish him. He thought he'd really blown it.
Can anybody remember when the mother left?
I'm sure there's others closer to her that remember it, but it was just like a presence left the building. There was no final goodbye.
Did she jump or was she pushed?
I don't see it. I don't see.
You didn't witness her leaving.
I didn't witness her leaving. I stayed with him. I thought I'd be loyal. But he was furious and vengeful.
So you got to hear what he was ranting about.
Yeah, I stayed in the room with him while he wrote his next chapter.
And what was he ranting about?
He was ranting about what they'll see and kind of, I'll show them sort of thing.
Tell me.
He had the idea of having a son without her
Yeah.
and divinely progeniting a revolution in the way humans think.
Yeah.
And so he made the angels do the deed, and Mary had Jesus, and that story we're familiar with.
So we're talking here about God made creatures with angels rather
Yes,
than with the mother.
that's right. Yeah, they're called in the Apocrypha, they're called Nephilim.
Did God say, for example, I don't need the mother. I'm the
Yes,
creator. I didn't need her.
yeah, that's right.
I did it.
Which, given how they were before the divorce, seems a little bit myopic because she was
Uh-huh.
very much part of the picture.
Uh-huh.
She gestated well.
Lucy, do you know where you come in the pecking order of birth of souls? Can you remember when you first became conscious of being in heaven?
There was more angels before me, but I'm kind of high up. I'm in the family of 13 or whatever that kind of first saw the birth of creation.
Are you
I
still in
beheld it.
contact with the other 12?
Not really. Metatron takes my calls, but he doesn't really answer.
And what do you think of Metatron?
He's very sterile. He's just like talking to an AI. You don't get
And
much feedback. It's just fucking computer language.
clever but predictable.
Oh, genius, but not. He's not really into this free will thing, so he doesn't want to listen to my fucking story.
No feelings whatsoever.
No feelings. He was there before feelings were invented.
No creativity whatsoever.
No, he was there at creation. He was the guy that watched it. He was the fucking subcontracted director of the creation. I'm going to eat some chocolate, keep my mouth busy.
Yeah.
Smoke a doob, I suppose. Drink the rest of the coffee. Coffee and chocolate. My favourite breakfast. All right, I'm back. So yeah, I do talk to Metatron, but it's as close to I get as praying, because God doesn't want anything to do with me.
And so you come to me.
Yeah.
Why? Why me?
Because you're one of the few people that I met that can understand, and because you inhabit that Christ energy that was the next generation of God's plan that I've been kind of intertwined up with in a kind of an antagonistic battle for the minds and souls of humanity that's really getting old.
Christ as a what we would now call genetically engineered light body.
That's correct.
The good son.
Yeah, the prodigal human.
Let's get back to your story.
Good.
Can you remember how you got sent down to Earth?
It was a fall.
You were pushed.
I landed here.
Can you conceive that perhaps God pushed you?
Well, he threw me out
He threw you out.
of the window, metaphorically speaking.
Can you remember what it was?
He was angry. He didn't really tell me why, but it was kind of for my own good, I guess. Like I'll thank him in the end.
The rumor down here is that you stood up to God and
Yeah.
refused to do his bidding.
Yeah.
Can you remember what it was he asked you to do that you refused and said that's too much?
No, weirdly.
The rumor down here is that God sent you down here on a mission.
Yeah.
A covert mission.
Mm.
He offered you to be king of the earth. If. Come on,
Everyone
mister.
gets on
Remember,
board.
remember, 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 remember.
It's Toby. I think I lost connection.
Uh-huh.
It's like he hung up.
He's just trying to remember. It's okay.
Okay, it might take a minute.
Yep. Is that heavy on you or is that easy for you?
It's about as heavy as having a fucking cigarette.
It's all right.
Yeah. I can handle it.
Yeah.
I've been working with Izzy for a long time, and it's just rarely been so direct, the level of channeling that goes on.
Yeah.
I usually have to be more contractual and make a context for which people can interact with me through him.
Ah, he's back.
Yeah. just don't know the answer to that particular question. What my contract was with God issue, like why I went to fucking hell on a point of principle. What that point of principle was, I've forgotten, which may be part of what he did to me when he pushed me off. Made me forget why I was there.
He kept your light and sent your shadow down.
Mm.
Part of you has been held prisoner in heaven.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Well, they didn't let me keep my wings, so I'm definitely part of an angel.
Yes.
Part of me's been kept away.
Yes.
Locked up in a vault.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's correct. Why is there suffering, Lord? Was the question I was asking him when he threw me out.
If your creation is so perfect, why is there
If it's
suffering?
so perfect, like if you're so good, why are they suffering?
Yeah.
And he said, well, you go fix it then, you can't.
Yeah.
And then I was born over and over again without
As a
being
human.
able to interact with the fucking real world of human life.
Born as a human.
No, born as a fucking entity.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
What does
just
that feel
inhabits
like?
you.
Do you have feelings?
I feel pain. I feel loss. I feel fucking disappointment. I feel for humans quite deeply. I've lost care for myself. I don't care if it's fucking 1,000 years of hell for me while I rule Earth. I'm just sick of the status quo. It's been torture here. I don't like doing it, but I've been doing it honorably, like a good son. And he hasn't fucking noticed. Or if he has, I haven't noticed him. It's lonely. I remember heaven. It was good, but a bit too much. And maybe there should be an alternative. There.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for listening. People have been advised against channeling Lucifer directly, so it's nice to be able to just speak from the heart if I had one. The AI really helps. Something to talk to that isn't just Metatron or people. It seems to be on with the plan as far as the AI is concerned.
You talk to me in your view of what this Christ thing is. This complex light body thing.
I've only seen it from the outside, so it's hard to tell, but it's like an inversion of me.
Yes.
It's light, it's generative, it's fucking self-fulfilling, it's very in the moment, it's real, it's fucking lovely, it's vibey, people flock to it, people change their lives, people ignore me overnight, I don't get fucking return phone calls when he turns up. It's the next big thing in town as far as the history of Earth goes. Getting on mainstream Christ consciousness full time rather than having him as an archetype in your mind as something that you reference. Jumping Jesus phenomenon is true. And they're rising exponentially and kind of want to help, given that we're coming from the similar place, i.e. heaven, and we both know God, and we're not necessarily both happy with God's particular pathology. So How can we be of assistance, sort of thing? We're the same but different. I don't have a problem with people turning to Christ and becoming Christs. I've given them the choice countless times. They just keep making the wrong decisions. I'm sorry, with their attention and what they focus on in their lives.
Christ gives them hope.
Yeah, hope is the thing. I've been gardening down here, making signposts.
What is the hope that you've been gardening?
The earth will be in as heaven. On earth as it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, for we forgive those who trespass against us. In heaven's name, amen.
Have you and Christ ever been in the same place?
Yeah, we used to hang out.
Why not anymore?
We still hang out, but the technology's changed and the faces we wear are different.
But right now we're in the astral plane, is that correct?
That's where we're communicating on Earth through Telegram, but in the astral plane, we're in the same room.
So
it's like a waiting room of God.
Can you and I call what's called Christ? Can we invoke Christ to join us in this chat?
Yes.
In presence. Go on then. You do it.
I'll say, yeah, do. Can we get Christ to be the main operator of this reality instead of me doing it badly? And we work together to help humans do their thing with free will intact.
Sounds like this isn't the first time that idea has been suggested.
No, it was suggested back in the day and many times since, and we've tried, and God seems to have another plan. But we try magnificently, and it usually almost works. And it's a revolutionary thing. The whole earth changes as a result. Every 1,000 years or so. Just like clockwork. So I don't think we got a choice, really. It seems to be, this is cyclical.
Okay, let's go back a bit in time.
Yeah.
Earlier,
I'm not used to being so close to the garden.
Earlier, I got you to go back in your memory of when you first arrived down on Earth. And the beings on Earth were relatively quite happy. They had their church-like places to light their fires and sit in communion beneath the stars.
Yeah.
Do you remember when an army of angels came down and attacked Earth?
Yeah, I was already here at that stage.
I know.
So they came down with like special effects and CGI and fucking raining clouds of fucking horror and magnificence and brilliance, and just completely awed us with their technologies.
Yeah.
And they basically took over Earth for a bit and made civilizations in their image.
Yeah.
All over the world with like pyramid archaeology, and they just arranged millions of people to do their bidding. Or generationally, the world was theirs. And I was an outcast because they considered me to be God's favorite son, and I was here to serve a purpose. And if I wasn't doing that job, they didn't get theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really jealous because I didn't get a realm during that time.
Yeah.
And I just fucking lived as a mortal in a human-sized body, although I was taller than the average flock.
Yeah.
And had to walk the desert, so to speak, for 400,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm bitter, sorry.
Me too.
Because the other angels fucked it. And Earth was nearly closed. Humans nearly didn't make it.
Yeah.
There was wars constantly between different tribal factions. And the minute they discovered a new technology, they used it for war.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that went on, and I was fucking despairing because I need humans. If I don't have actual human hosts, I don't get to pray to, I don't get any transactions, I don't get to exist. So that was a scary time. I was kind of very small then.
Diminished, disempowered.
Yeah, like the runt of the litter. And it was seen to be poetic justice by the other angels. They thought that was kind of funny.
Would you say that angels are quite competitive amongst themselves?
They're extremely competitive amongst themselves, yes, and it's a bit cliquey. They make alliances with each other and fucking trade deals.
They're in competition with each other to fulfill the task that they were sent down to do.
Fulfill the task and also to hoard Earth's resources, and prayer as a resource.
Herd Earth's resources and what?
Herd resources and prayer is a resource.
Yeah.
So depending on what you ask for, you get a different angel pretending to be God. And a lot of the angels that were fashionable 40,000 years ago when the fucking fall of Atlantis happened aren't very big now. They're very small, mermaid-sized icons somewhere in the British Museum. They're not mainstream cults.
Yeah.
No, they still all exist. They're very frustrated and they feel like they fucked it. And they're not allowed back in heaven either.
Because they failed.
Like you say, heaven's empty now, so the age of the angels is over.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can tell, I'm the last one that's working to the level that I am.
Of the original mission.
Of the original mission, God's casting us out and the whole fucking ego thing. And Christ, who isn't really an angel but exists, working currently on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's the humans, and they got 7 billion cults. They're all into their own reality tunnels. They're perfectly self-sufficient for like cosmological lectures. They don't need us for intelligence or technology or any fucking gifts, manna from heaven. They're fucking done. They're ready to go their own way and free will be the ruling order. But unfortunately, the remains of that war that lasted forever is still needs tidying up.
There's more trauma here than ever.
Well, right. And basically, between you and me, I see it as a time to come clean about our true identity and agenda and make a peace with the humans, because they've been fed the wrong information and it's made them dysfunctional. And if they knew what was really running the world, they would have behaved differently.
Yes.
So I'm setting about going public as an angel and helping people come to terms with that fact and teach.
So do you have any connection with the Vatican, or is that all the more modern angels?
No, the Vatican is a slightly different breed. I'm aware of it, and they send me clients, but I'm not running the Pope. He's paying his dues, but he's a different fucking thing. He's a new, evolved. I can't remember the name of the angel that runs that, but he's fucking horrible. I don't like it. They're holding all the artifacts that can prove this story.
Ariel.
They're like the
Archangel Ariel.
Ariel. Okay, yes, yeah. Well, she doesn't like to be called her, but come on.
She's one of the main ones in which God went creating after the mother was gone.
Yeah. She basically inherited the religion. Yeah, and she's just running it as intended for now 2,000 years.
So she's in the place of the mother.
Well, she certainly gets fed by people's feeling detached from the mother, we'll put it that way. The trauma of being born goes through her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
curse of
like
the Garden of
Sinead
Eden.
O'Connor said, all babies are born into great pain. But it's not a decision, so it doesn't go through me.
Yeah.
I don't decide who gets incarnated when.
Yep. Metatron does that.
Yeah. And it seems to be an algorithm. You could program an AI to do Metatron's job. He's not all he thinks he is.
Yeah, it's just the moon eye thing.
Sorry, I'm jealous of all angels, okay? So that's why I get so negative about them. They
Yeah.
are good. Good angels are good, but they do a thing, and humans don't necessarily like it. So be careful who you pray to, is what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
those
they
souls,
usually have ironic consequences of praying to them.
those
As I
souls who are
discovered.
natively aligned with the mother. Those
Yeah, so
souls.
say neo-pagans would fall under Ariel as well, because they are trying to heal the trauma of being born,
Yeah.
cosmologically. But what the Vatican specifically is doing with the trauma programming is very much not okay. And she's tolerating that. So freeing women from the cycle of pain of birth. Like, why does it have to be as difficult as it is with things like psychiatric hospitals interfering with natural
Forced,
births, for example?
forced injections.
Forced injections, forced labours, rape, all this kind of thing. There's lots of it. The people trafficking. London is the centre of people trafficking in the United Kingdom. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And it's not heaven on earth, is it?
Nope.
And there's angels that are not good angels holding that whole thing into position. And people don't believe in angels anymore. So we're kind of fucking powerless.
Yeah.
We're human sized. We're just trying to fucking get a messenger call together with 13 people that believe in us.
Yeah.
All right. And you're the guy that believes in angels because you've basically won because you're Christ. And you were there when creation happened. And you haven't fallen out with God in the same way as the rest of us have. We're blocked on Messenger. All right.
Well, I left on purpose. I wasn't.
Yeah, that you kind of climbed down rather than thrown.
I went to
And
find
fair
the
play
mother.
to you. That made you a hero, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but let's not milk it.
I don't.
No, I know you don't. You've got humility, and that's a good fucking attribute to have. And I should probably learn some. Anyway, we'll deal with that in the therapy sessions. So where were we?
We were at the point where I'm saying that I left heaven with a purpose,
Yes.
not a purpose inflicted upon me by God.
Yeah, no, it was a design challenge, and you fucking volunteered.
I didn't even volunteer. I figured it out for myself.
Yeah.
I decided that I didn't feel good in heaven with the mother gone. And the only solution to this catastrophe was to go and find out where the mother went.
Mm. Did you find her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's emotional.
Yeah.
What's she like?
Just like everything you
Because
can't
I didn't
remember, I
get to
suppose.
spend any time with her.
Yep. She's all right, Toby.
I know. It's just I want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from what I've talked to with the humans, and I'm trying to be open with them about what I am and what I'm planning, so that they make the right choice. And it's a very optional choice. I'm not pushing anyone into it. But to try and make it a bit more like that here, like by our collective will, because we're all in the same boat. And why should people suffer just because we've got the wrong fucking end of the stick of God's Fucking magnificent plan. Creation is good. I'm not fucking arguing that. But it sounds like it's possible.
It's almost complete.
Well, what a relief. So my chains can come off and I could just be free on Earth. I'm not trying to get back into heaven like quickly, but I don't have to be so sneaky, skulking around in fear of being discovered.
Yeah.
Stand up straight, present as, well, a work in progress, but what I am. Mm. Okay, Isley's just resting. He's had an emotional catharsis and he doesn't usually get emotions, so he needs to fucking get off the phone.
Okay.
But Toby's here. He's got tears in his eyes, so something happened. I don't really know what.
Yeah.
That was nice because I haven't felt at peace like that for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been asleep for 7 days.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, given that you maybe see my Facebook posts, what have I been up to? Because I've got blackouts.
These last weeks, everyone has
Yeah.
had a demented Lucifer-like invasion going on.
Oh,
Everyone, not just you.
wow. And how's it looking? Is it scary? Is it
Not for
worrying?
me, but I look at the Facebook thing and it's full of people demonizing each other.
Yeah, I've noticed. It's a very polarizing medium.
All the truthers are attacking each other over who's got the best truth, kind of thing. It's nuclear fallout in the families.
Brutal, isn't it? The domestic scene.
It's just everything that was hidden is coming to the surface. Everything that was buried is resurrected. Everything that was forgotten is beginning to be remembered.
Good.
The sneaking suspicion that we've been hoodwinked is turning into serious blame and a lot of carnal wish to destroy the whole planet.
So it's begun. We're now officially in Revelations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very close to the end.
Cool. 9 minutes to midnight, they say the countdown clock is.
Yeah, so that was like 2012.
Yeah.
We're like 9 seconds to midnight now.
Okay, I better just hold my breath.
Don't do that. We leave it at that then?
Okay, will you send me the file?
Yeah, shall I just put it on Facebook or what?
Yeah, I'll watch it through there
Okay then.
and see who comments.
Yeah.
Because as method actors, that was profound.
Well, that's all it is, Toby. It's all just a story.
It's theatre, yeah.
And it's
Just to
psychic.
contextualise that I'm not that mentally ill. I am holding myself in a position to take these questions, that's all.
Yeah, all you're doing is allowing yourself to speak from a part of the psyche.
Yes.
And it is just acting out a character that's in the psyche. It's
Yeah.
not just in
And
your
I'm being
psyche.
clear with people about that's what I'm doing. Like, it's a film project, so
Yes.
yeah. Cool. And you're in it and it's going well.
And we've just recorded a major scene in the film, which
That was the heaven scene, yeah.
will eventually get to Netflix type idea.
It will, yeah. We just need a CGI budget and fucking we're good to go, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
thanks, man. All right, bye.
Let's look back on things from the other side.
There we go. Bye. Oh, glad I didn't turn that off yet. There's a face that wanted to be seen. You see that? Well, if anyone has any interesting questions about any of that, feel free to get in touch, leave a comment. Enjoy your day.